about 31 years.
Really?
Yeah.
How did you meet?
I think I went to a show and he was there and he said, "Oh, I'm a distributor up here," and that's where I met him.
Isn't he a millionaire?
Who, Bobby?
Million times? Yeah. He has 500 stoves, and he goes to Florida every winter to get warm.
Can't blame him. That's where I'd be if I were him.
Thank you, feller.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
So now what do we do? I think we should go into the museum, and I think we should label columns 11 to 20, rows 7, 6, 5, and 4 maybe. Let's go. May thy rich grace impart strength to our fainting heart, our zeal inspire. Oh, hear us while we pray. Take all our guilt away. Oh, let us from this day be wholly thine. Praise ye the Lord. Let's see, where is number 11? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Right here. 9, 10, and 11. Okay. If it's empty, you put a blank label across it. You know, we threw out, I would say, 2,000 or 3,000 tapes. We don't have tape anymore. It's DVD. We don't even have DVD anymore. It's SD. Anyway, we threw out about 3,000. All of the 2-inch videotapes. When tape started out, it was 2 inches wide. Then we threw away the 1 inch, and then we threw away the 3/4 inch, and then we threw away the 8 millimeters. I'm telling you, take carton after carton. At least 20, 25, 30 cartons went out here and were dumped. So many of these cartons are empty. And we threw away, what came after 8 millimeter? Mini DV. We threw those all away. Everything, though, is on DVD. I'll be right back. I have to get the labels. I started to tell you. Praise ye the Lord, the Almighty, the King of creation. Praise him, my soul, for he is thy strength and salvation. All ye who hear, to his temple draw near. Join us in glad adoration. Let's see if number 9 is the current file. No, number 10 isn't either. Number 8 is wood. Number 7 is not either. I don't know where the current file is. Okay. Where did we put the labels? Here's some. So 11. That's empty. No. There's music in it. And a heating pad. This drawer has mothballs. Let's throw out a few mothballs. The mice did come here regardless, and they even made a nest in the drawer that had the mothballs in it. But they know how to make nests. So what was it we were going to put on column 11? a heat pad. And classical music. Okay. Here's the labels. Empty. Empty. So, I think you should be on the bottom. Heating pad and classical music. And your change of covers. And the stick to make it sit up straight. And that's column 11. Okay, column 12. This is the file. And he will be about 20 pounds. More like 40. Lucent, AIC, American International College. Lucent, one with God. Receipts. Telephone instructions. $200 bills. This one is a chat with Glendora archives, 8mm. Let's see if that's empty. And VHS. That one didn't get thrown away. Ooh, you're lucky, baby. Oh. Men are so much stronger than women. Column 12. File. Buddha, mower, schoonover. Files, 2012, January, February, to when? I would say through April. Ballpoint pen went right through the box, through April. And this is column 12. Empty. This is column 13. Column 13. My mother. Oh, tomorrow. I don't do anything. because it was a day that I was born, 84 years ago. And I'm just going to stay alone with my mother and my father and remember all the great things they did for the four of us and what they went through. They went through the Depression with 4 children, and they made it. So that's tomorrow. Not doing anything but just remembering them and being with them in spirit. Column 14.
Oh no, it is not. This is column 14.
Column 11, 12, 13. And 14. Empty. Mother. That's Mother's file. Column 15. You need a label. No! You got them backwards. 11, 12. 11, 12, 13. I wish my kitty hadn't left us. I wish he was here. And if he didn't want to stay here, why didn't he tell me and I would have taken him home? I was coming back the next day to get him. Actually, I shouldn't have taken Austin to the Chinese restaurant that day. I should have come right back here and got Amadeus. Now get this straight. 11, 12, 13, 14. The SS Glendora, 1954 to 1962, on television. 15, it's empty, you need a label. Can you see okay? We're up to 15. I was hoping that I could live in the museum, but the museum is not habitable. No electricity, no running water. So what if it has a blank label? It's empty. Empty. I may move again, so leave that there. And it's the, what do you call those things that play the tune? Play the Christmas carols. Little blankets. And a football that I brought Franklin. Audio tape conversations. Federal Court, 1996, 1997. 15, we're half done, folks. 16. Okay, it puts things in. Thermos and a wallet. Sleeping bag. $50. But it would keep you warm in 0 degrees. I'm telling you, it was wonderful. That's when I tried to live here in February. February 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. And .com was locked up in a file cabinet. In a file cabinet. .com was locked up in a file cabinet for 7 days. And she never said meow. I never knew for 7 days. I was right here every day, all night sometimes. And I'd hear her scratching the metal file drawer, but I thought it was the wind blowing some metals. Then one night I thought the lock was being picked, and I called the sheriff and the New York troopers. And they took me to Karen Moeller's to sleep for 2 nights. Then the next 5 nights I slept in the church underneath the steeple. Archives of Chapman Glendora is empty. 2001 to 2003. Empty. Gets an empty label. 1993 VHS. All thrown away. They went into the dumpster. Thank you, Mr. Cohen. Glendora ads, clients, okay. So that's 17. And this is 18. Empty. It gets a blank label. CNN. Glendora TV ads, the CNN. And Atlantic, empty. And that belongs on the bottom. This was Glendora when she sued a New York State trooper and a judge and a clerk in West Taconic Court for violating the speedy trial law. You know, folks, if you're arrested and you're put in jail, or whatever, if you're arrested criminally, they have to bring you to trial in 70 days. And if they don't, the whole thing's dismissed. You know that, folks? If you're not brought to trial in 70 days, they've lost it. Well, the judge in Taconic and the state trooper Peter Andrews and the clerk all violated that. I should have taken them to the Supreme Court of the United States on civil rights. 17 and 18, next to the last one. Files, 2011, April. Contents of TV shows. How do I know this is full? You just have to lift this one. Oh, and see. Ah. Get the chair. This is 32 feet per second squared. This is gravitational acceleration. What's the gravitational constant? Oh, 6.97 times 10 to the 20 Newton meters squared per second squared. Yep, this one's full. Files, 1993. Oh. You almost got me. You almost got me. This is a cable TV subscriber's Bill of Rights. You folks who are subscribing to cable TV have a Bill of Rights. Last one. $20 is empty. Archives. Oh, that's very important. 200 to 400 to YouTube by Devon. March to August 2011. Archives up to October 31st, 2011. Oh, that's pretty important. That's where the VHS and the 8 millimeters and the 3/4 inch went. They went on to DVD. Victoria takes a dim view of that because she says the archivist she knows, the archivist she knows, says nobody knows how long DVD's going to last. I know for a fact that the VHS lasted from 1987 to 2011. That would be 13, 23, 24 years or so, wouldn't it be? I know that for a fact. And I know that the 8 mils lasted from 1987 to 2011. The picture was perfect. The audio was perfect. We don't know about DVD. And she says the glue on them doesn't last. Or they don't know that it doesn't last. But I know when the Portapak came out and Sony came out with a reel-to-reel half-inch tape, which made public access what it is, possible. You go out and do remotes anywhere. They first ones came out without a backing on them. They were just clear. They played beautifully 30 years later. Then Sony started putting a backing on them. Well over the 30-year period, the backing disintegrated. The picture, it would go around, round, around. So Sony, the great big corporation, didn't know how to make videotape. That was reel to reel, half-inch. Job's done. For the new leaves on the tree, for the museum, for the archives, for video players, for video recorders, for the record, for Mr. Cohen, who's rented me this museum for 9 years, for $75 a month. To the people who work here and are so friendly and are so helpful in helping a little 84-year-old woman. For .com, for her purring. When she purrs, we know she's happy. And when she's happy, we're happy. Who is .com? A little 8-year-old kitty cat whom God has painted so artistically. An orange stripe here, an orange stripe here, and 2 brown stripes around the orange stripe. And then her mascara. She wears mascara. It's white mascara. And then an orange stripe here. And great big green eyes. Is that 20 blessings? The heart beats every second. 13. The lungs breathe every second. 14. The way the blood circulates. 15. And we're warm. Oxidation, food, and we're warm. We are warm. We can see, we can hear, we can taste the olfactory sense. We can feel how beautifully we're made, every one of us. Folks, here's an insight. A sperm and an egg and a baby and a mother and father. We'll call them parents A. And they bring up the family. And then that family become parents B. And they have children. And so they bring those up. And parents A move on. And parents B move on. And parents B's children, family C, they grow up. And then family C has children. And then parents C move on. And up comes family D. That's all we're here for. To keep it going. And when our time is done, when our family is grown, then we move on, move on, move on, move on, until we move out of it. So at 84 years old, what's that tell me? It's time to move on. So did we count 20 blessings? For muscles, beautiful motion. Beautiful motion. For the fact that you and I are on this earth, and you know that we are spinning, rotating at 600 miles an hour. I don't understand that. Can you explain it to me? Why don't we feel it? And then the earth is revolving around the sun, and that's at 60,000 miles an hour. And we don't feel it. Okay, that's our 20 blessings for what? 1 o'clock? 2 o'clock? Well, it's 15 blessings and 4 rejoices. The people are all going home now. The party's over. I'm glad we got here so early. It was really crowded, wasn't it? What do we have to do now? I think we've done the museum work. Can't think of anything else. Except go back to the happy house. This is the new place is a happier house. The place at Sunnyside Road in Stuyvesant Falls at the Kinderhook border, at the Kinderhook line, that was a happy house. And this new place is a happier house. And this owner, his name is Alan, I guess he's the owner. I looked up the deed in the county clerk's office, and it said that he bought this tremendously big house, in which is 5 apartments now, that he bought it for $1 from Henry Cassavant and his brother Durlbert, something Cassavant, for $1 in the year 2002. But he wants me to sign a lease. And I don't want to do that. Why? Well, just because I believe in freedom. Freedom and independence. I'm going to make him a deal. He says you can't rent a house between September 1st and May 31st. Nobody wants to move. So he wants me to sign a lease. But I think I'll make a deal with him. Suppose I might offer him $1,200 cash, or maybe $1,600 cash, and tell him I'll cover him I've already said that I would stay until May 31st, and I will not go back on my word, because Christ said, don't swear by Jerusalem, don't swear by the temple, don't swear by heaven. Let your nay be nay and your yea be yea. And I gave my yea. So I will not go back on my word. I'll stay with him until May 31st. And that'll be $600 for a one-bedroom apartment, and the one bedroom is totally empty. There's nothing in it. You want to rent it for storage? $200 a month. I'll make him a deal. I'll give him $1,400 cash for May, June, and July. And on July 31st, I'll tell him whether I'll sign a lease or not, and I probably won't. Then I'll make him another cash offer. When they see that cash, they become very malleable. So let's go back to the happier house, you and I, and see.com, and read some more Buddha and study some more. Weren't those beautiful, those 5 things, the meditation? Let's meditate on love until our hearts become so enlarged that we contemplate the happiness of every living thing. Then we will meditate on compassion, and to me that's a given. That's a natural thing. Couldn't be more so. And joy. That's what we're always talking about, right? Happiness. And then on purity. And then what's the last one? I know. Do you? What's the last one? Serenity. How can you be ecstatic and serene at the same time? Okay. As the funeral director said, we must be shoveling off. Close up the museum. I think we ought to take some of these blazers home. We're short on blazers for winter. Those are all summer. Here's a winter one. Here's a winter one. Here's a winter one. And there's a winter one. There's not going to be 5 more weeks of winter, is there? Goodbye, Amadeus. I did my best for you, I'm sure I did. I gave you 11 acres, I gave you a cat door, I gave you a brook. All the food any cat could eat. We're closing up the museum. Throw away these mothballs. You had a good time in here, mice. You made lovely beds. Now, don't fall down the stairs. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you. Lock the door. This is the start of the fiscal month of May. May 1st is tomorrow. 84 years old. Just one thing here. We'll pick up 10 pieces of litter. And when Austin and I come here, the first weekend of the month is Museum Day. We'll pick up some more. Okay, 10 pieces of litter. Oh, that was so heartbreaking. When those people let the March wind blow those cardboard boxes in the brook, plug it up, the boxes got water still. Oh, you sweetie. Aren't you adorable? What a great designer. Aren't you sweet? One. Two. Three. Instead of 10, we made it 30. Looks a lot better. So you have to be scraped and a primer put on you and painted lavender. Oh, that has to be put on the roof. Don't you think that love for every living being also applies to the environment? Love for the environment.
There you go, Josh. Oh wait, we can't put the whole box in there though. No, I said I'll pick it up when you dump it over. I just gave up the whole having to pick it up. I'll even took it halfway over. Wow. You want it up more? No, you can try. You're looking at TV. Go ahead.
The party's over. Take the clamp off. I left you lots of food, birdies. Oh, what a beautiful sound when that car starts up. Wait a second. We should get our Buddha notes. Because we're trying to learn to meditate, love, compassion, joy, purity, serenity. We don't want to waste time. Of himself in the period after attainment of enlightenment, oh boy, and return to the world to complete his mission. Okay. After a period of attaining enlightenment, and we are in the world to complete our mission. And our mission is happiness. The chairs are all back, folks. The chairs are all back. The caterers have gone. Back to work. But Brother Lawrence said, he was just as happy doing his work in the kitchen in the monastery as he was in the sanctuary. Bye! Bye! The party's over. God bless you, honey.
You too. Thank you.
Back to Kansas.
Alrighty. Have a good one.
You too, sweet. He's giving all of those grills to Bob Cohen. I said, really? He said, yes. It's part of the deal. Part of the deal. This is Route 9H. What's that mean? Well, there's so many nines. Route 9A, Route 9B, Route 9G. This is 8. 9W, that means the west side of the Hudson River. Is the north-south route from Manhattan to Albany and Albany north. Yeah, way north. Route 9 goes up to Glens Falls, goes up to Lake George, goes along the Hudson River, West Side Drive. This is Columbia County, Route 22, the one that you love so well. This is the perfect country road, folks. Hills, let's let this fella go by. Hills and curves. And greenery, and fields, and valleys. So, what is your mission in life? Easy one, isn't it, that we have? Bring as much happiness as we can. Did we bring happiness today? Oh yes. With jokes, and with good greetings, and with good wishes, and with thank yous. Look at that, isn't that pretty? So mission accomplished. Buddha's mission was to show everybody the way to enlightenment. And what is the way to enlightenment? Selflessness, love of others, contemplation of the happiness of every living being. Kindness and goodness. Did you hear about the atom? Atom, A-T-O-M, elementary particle. An atom was sitting on a park bench, and he was dejected. And a man came along and said, "Why are you dejected?" And the atom said, "Well, I lost an electron. I'm no longer an atom. I'm an ion." And the man said, "Are you sure?" And the atom says, "I'm positive." Oh, a school bus and little tiny people. Watch out, little tiny people. Dunbar's nursery. We looked at an apartment there, and it was really a magnificent apartment. $750, including everything. How beautiful you make everything go. That's a few cars, isn't it? Isn't that a few cars? How beautiful you make everything go. The rolling hills, the green fields, the fresh new green of the new green leaves. Route 22, County of Columbia, State of New York, United States of America. This terrestrial sphere, this globe, the world, internet, YouTube. You can look up a chat with Glendora folks on the YouTube, on your telephone, on the Straight Talk phone. Isn't it beautiful? Let's pull over here and find out something that Buddhists. No, it's the curve. It would be dangerous for people to pass. And a big curve. Centripetal force. Centripetal acceleration. Force subcentripetal is equal to mass times the acceleration subcentripetal. Do you know any other equations? Yes. Power is work over time. So therefore, work is equal to FD, isn't it? Force times the distance? Yes. So therefore, power would be equal to FD over T. The force times the distance divided by the time. And it's also equal to momentum. That's mv. So work is equal to the mass times the velocity. And this all applies to happiness. Let's say you are in company with a mass named Billy. The work you do on Billy, making him happy, is the force of the happiness times, well, okay, no, take that back. The happiness force that you put on Billy is equal to his mass times the acceleration that you give him. And the acceleration is from boom to joy. Go around. Now that poor man needs happiness. And he needs selflessness. And he needs love. And he needs enlightenment. Instead of saying thank you for pulling over, which is not compulsory, and letting you by, he's so full of self, he didn't realize that it was a favor. It was a blessing. So send him pulses of love, compassion, joy, purity, and serenity. Amen. See these new, fresh green leaves. And so now we pass Town Hall in Ghent, New York, Columbia County, and go down Route 66, which is a New York State route. First job, after unloading and putting away and taking care of .com Kitty, first job is to read the newspaper ads. And search for an efficiency or a studio apartment. $400. You really should find one for $300. Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. What has to be done for a chat with Glendora tomorrow? Time these 4 half hours and put titles on them. Really? Yeah. I don't think so. The first thing is to make 4 no titles for Devon, for Philadelphia and District of Columbia. Oh, that was nice. Thank you so much. 3 hours and 5 minutes of a chat with Glendora. Tathagata, that's what they called him before he became so-called enlightened, lives in the pure land and knows its bliss. That's the thing, folks. That's the thing. Know its bliss. Didn't we have a good time? Did we have bliss? 1993 Lincoln, thank you so much for your luxury rides. Clear out the front seat of the cab here. Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. Let me see what the little furry animal is doing. Little furry animal. There's a little furry animal. Yes. There she is. Okay, unload. Make sure these go into the briefcase and do not get lost. He knew the bliss. Well, do you feel the bliss? Yeah. How could you do 3 loads of laundry yesterday and forget to put this poor towel you rescued off of the ground? How could you do that? You won't be doing the laundry for another month. Get out the tripod, find the clamp, turn the camera upside down, the bliss, the bliss, the bliss. Okay, let's take our litter that we picked up, 30 pieces, and take it to the dumpster. This'll do it. Keyless entry. Simultaneously, the last two buttons. Bless! Want the kitchen window open.com? Did you have icewater.com? No. First thing, feed.com. .com is going to have tender bits. That's vegan. She's rubbing her chin up against the tripod legs. There's the DVD diary for today. And its monitor. You're first.com. Feeding you is first. Did you enjoy your grass today? You know, every day, folks, she eats about 10 or 15 spears of grass. Empty the pockets. Even while he is in the body, the Tathagata lives in the Pure Land. So do we, folks. We've lived in the Pure Land these past 5 hours, haven't we? Empty the pockets. You're very anxious for your tender bits, aren't you? Yeah. It's past time for your lunch. Yeah, 'cause you eat so early in the morning, like 6:30. This is the first Vario camera we ever had. I lost it. This is its replacement. It's the red Vario. It's very, very complicated and very sophisticated. Then when they came out with this one, taking the picture now, it was much simplified. But I still like the first Vario we ever had. Here.com. Get you some ice water. Tender bit. No need to eat pigs. Eat these. They're made of grain. She won't touch it until I put on her B12 yeast. Now she go to town. And the thing is, you have to sit right with her. Yeah, she likes company when she eats. Even while he is in the body, what? The Tathagata lives in where? The Pure Land. Capital P, capital L. And what is that to us? That's in the presence of happiness. We are in the body, but we are in the presence of happiness. Oh, I'm coming. I'll stay right here with you, honey. I didn't go far. I didn't go far, little kitty. He approved those preparatory exercises. And what were they, folks? Meditate on love, compassion, joy, purity, and serenity. And in the nature of retirement into seclusion, you have to have your seclusion time, folks. You have to have your silent time. He returned into seclusion, meditation, and concentration. That led to loss of self. Oh boy. Is that how you do it? Loss of self? You do it through meditation, seclusion, silence, concentration. That led to loss of self in mystic consciousness. That's one with happiness. Mystic consciousness is the same as one with happiness, with consciousness of the Absolute. Now the Absolute is too vast in time and in space for our little minds to intercept. But we know what happiness is. This is happiness right here. Feeding a little kitty. And feeding a little kitty feeding the kitty animals who are tortured and agonized and brutalized when they didn't do anything wrong. Their little sweet faces, those little cows that I used to feed, the little bulls, little sweet faces. Oh, I loved them. And the woman says, you can't feed them apples anymore. Well, why not? Apples are good for them. Look at the money we spent feeding them. Well, because somebody sees you feeding them and they think they can feed them and they feed them bad stuff, and I have to call a veterinarian, and I can't afford a veterinarian. What a terrible thing she does. Make money from the agony of those little bulls who did nothing wrong.
Call from Cronin Mobile. Call from Cronin Mobile. Call from Cronin Mobile. Call from...
Hello.
Hello, Glennie.
Hello, Joe Cronin. How are you?
All right, yourself?
Oh, I couldn't be better. Couldn't be happier. Did
Hey,
you?
you'll never guess who I'm here with.
Oh, I know. You're there with Mr. Wall.
That's right, here he is.
Yeah. Dick.
Good afternoon, how you doing today?
Oh, Dick, you're an inspiration to me. I tell you. Thank you so much for going to all that effort to see our mutual friend Joe Cronin.
Well, you know, I send him a bill every 2 months.
Oh, that's good.
$1,000 a day visit.
Yeah, is he good for it?
Well, he hasn't paid me yet.
Oh, really? Oh, really, huh? Yeah. This woman
so, I
said...
mean, you know, I'll
Yeah.
keep asking.
Yeah. This...
Oh, okay, here's Joe again.
Mr. Wall.
Hey, Glennie.
Yeah, thank you, Joe, for that. He's a marvelous person and an inspiration to me.
He's a very wonderful person and an inspiration to me, too.
Yeah, he comes all the way from Brooklyn,
All the way.
and then he goes all the way out to Long Island,
He does that.
and when he gets off, he walks a half a mile to go see you.
Yep, that's through all kinds of weather.
Yeah.
Hey, Glennie, have you got a website?
Yes, chatwithglendora.com. You have to go to YouTube. That's the thing to do. Go to YouTube. You go to Google.
YouTube.
No, go to Google.
Okay.
Google. Go to Google.
Okay.
Go to YouTube,
Right.
and then put in a chat with Glendora.
A chat with a Glendora.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then you will see 1,500 shows. No, wait a second. You'll see 5,500 shows.
5,500 shows.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. If that doesn't make you sick, what will?
That's a terrible thing to say. Chat with Glendora.
Yeah,
Is
go.
that .com?
Yeah, let me say it to you again. Google, YouTube, and a chat with Glendora.
Google, YouTube, and then a chat with Glendora.
Yeah, make sure you say a chat with Glendora.
Okay. That's
Because
all one word, right, Glennie?
I don't know if they do that or not. No, I think it's different. No, I think it's separated words.
What I'll do is I'll just separate them. Okay,
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. The
How you doing otherwise, all right?
oh, perfect. Couldn't be better. Full of bliss.
I'm glad to hear that.
The teacher said, she said pi r square. And the little girl says, no, pi r round.
Okay. All right, Glennie.
Thank you for calling me, boys.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it would be nice if I could be with you.
That's good. That's going to happen.
All right, sweetie. Take care.
Yeah.
Take care,
I
my
will.
dears. Bye-bye. Oh, he's so nice to do that. They met years ago at a Catholic alumni club. And they met as friends. And Dick Wall lives in Brooklyn. And he takes all those subways out of Brooklyn to get to the Long Island Railroad, the Wrong Island Railroad. Maybe he goes down to Penn Station, though. And he goes all the way out to the end of Nassau County, Long Island, into Suffolk County yet already. I think it's in Babylon. And then when he gets off the train, Dick Wall walks half an hour to get to Joe Cronin, who's in a nursing home. They don't know what's wrong with him. They haven't known what's wrong with him for 5 years. Joe used to live in Lindenhurst. And he used to call me from his apartment in Lindenhurst. And then he ended up lying on the floor. And they called an ambulance, and he's been in a nursing home ever since. And he lost everything he had. I guess everything in his apartment was just evaporated. Bliss! There's Bliss. Dick Wall. Here, I'll tell you some jokes. Man said he sees spots. I see spots before my eyes. And his friend says, well, did you see a doctor? No, I just see spots. Doctor, there's nothing I can do for you. Your sickness is hereditary. Patient, then send the bill to my father. Did you hear about the doctor during the 1940s and the 1950s? He was so meticulous that when he gave a shot for the German measles, he gave 2 shots. One for East Germany, one for West Germany. Bill says, my dog is like one of the family. And Ed says, really? Which one? My dog plays poker. I don't believe it. Well, he does. His only trouble is when he gets a good hand, he wags his tail. Why did the inventor cross an electric blanket with a toaster? So his kids would pop out of bed in the morning. The Economist says things are going to pick up in the last quarter. And the man said, good, I'm down to my last quarter. A boy wrote home, Dad, from college, Dad, I joined the drama club and I already got a part in a play. I play the part of a man who's been married 30 years. And Dad wrote back, good, son. In your next play, I hope you get a speaking part. There's so many things that money can't buy. For instance, what you could buy with it a year ago. And they say teenagers don't know the value of $1. Well, they do. That's why they ask you for 20. .com, are you through? Or are you upset because somebody interrupted you? Alrighty. Let's go to the think drawer, or rather the pure thought binder in the think drawer, and let's find the hymns. Let's finish this one paragraph of Buddha, okay? How many $10,000 bills do you have? I want to read this again. He approved those preparatory exercises in the nature of retirement into seclusion, meditation, and concentration that lead to loss of self in mystic consciousness of the Absolute. It is said that he neither approved nor forbade the yoga practice as it was brought by converts from Brahmanism. That was the India. The concentration by which the yoga attains detachment from worldly consciousness and entry into an ecstatic spiritual trance. I don't think we really want to be in a trance, but we are ecstatic. Not in a trance. We're just ecstatic. But that detachment from worldly consciousness, the detachment from self. You have to be worldly and bring happiness to Joe Cronin in the nursing home in Babylon. You have to be in the conscious world, bring happiness to .com and her vegan food. It will be remembered that right rapture. I think we felt it all this morning, don't you, all today? Right rapture is the final stage of the Eightfold Path of Noble Conduct. They did come up with an ethical code that was beautiful, and this is 500 years before Christ. Right rapture, quote unquote, is the final stage in the Eightfold Path of Noble Conduct, and that it follows the seventh stage, right meditation. Hey, .com, we've got to do more meditation. Yep. Now today, was there too much spiritualism? Well, there would have been if we hadn't counted 15 blessings every hour and if we hadn't rejoiced every quarter of an hour. It would have been too much materialism. But meditation and solitude it's time for that. Water, two gases, hydrogen and oxygen. How do you do it, God? I want to ask you folks, have the chemists and the physicists ever manufactured water? Have they ever made it? Have they ever taken oxygen and hydrogen and made water? Have they? It certainly beats Coke, and it certainly beats A&W root beer, and it certainly beats orangeade. One thing before we go is I'd like to share with you this thrill of these magazines. There's 4 or 5 of them here. One will do fine. But the pictures, the photographs with their telescopes that they have made. How's that? Of galaxies. How's that? Praise ye the Lord, the Almighty, the King of creation. Praise him, my soul, for he is thy strength and salvation. All ye who hear, to his temple draw near. Join us in glad adoration. That's how big our God is. And that's why our itty-bitty minds cannot intercept God, but we certainly know what happiness is.
You want to go in the drawer? You want to explore the drawer? Can you get in that drawer? It is so full.
You spent 7 days in a drawer. This is the kitty who spent 7 days in a file drawer. Did you see this one? I think so. I showed it to you. Pat Brady is my sponsor for Chat with Glendora on Time Warner TV in Staten Island. That was a picture of Mars, by the way. Planet Mars. Oh, excuse me, Mercury. No, look, these are an artist's concept of the shells that Mercury is made of. How do they know that? God, are they right? Are they right, God? Is that the way it is? The Hubble telescope, I believe. Let's make sure, Glendora. Well, now, I think you should be accurate. You want to sit on my lap? Here, come on. You can sit on my lap. Messenger, spacecraft. Fired a rocket and slipped into orbit around Mercury. Oh God, you're so wonderful. Messenger stands for Mercury Surface, Space, Environment, G, Fox, Chemistry, and Ranging. It's a long thing to stand for. Now what is this? .com wants to go into the closet. Okay. Hold it. I'll open the closet door for you. Now she ran away. Well, I think you get the idea month after month. These close-ups. About the moon sinking the Titanic 50 years ago. That's because it was a new moon. And there wasn't any light. And they couldn't see the iceberg that was coming toward them and they were going toward. What planet is this?
That's right.
It's Saturn. And then every month they give you a picture of the sky and the names that they've given to the heavenly bodies. And all the phases. Cluster light, cluster bright. Venus last passed through the Pleiades on April 3rd, 2004. What's it called? The transit of Venus? And You know, God is so precise and so reliable about these things. They can predict years and years ahead. A strange white spot appeared on Mars, and here's the progression of the white spot, if you can see it. And then it went away. And it was a long white thing. An April asteroid array. Over the edge. This is pictures of the moon. That brings you bliss, doesn't it? Yes. Bliss and excitement. She wants to play. Great spring. Double stars. Our sun is 93 million miles from us. And that 93 million miles is called an astronomical unit, AU. Our moon is 240,000 miles from us. Oh, November. We're going to have a total eclipse in November.
Call from restricted number. Call from restricted number. Call from restricted number. Call from restricted number. Call from.
Hello.
Hey, Glendora, how are you?
Oh, pretty good. How are you, Lynn?
Pretty good. What's your life been like this week?
Well, you know, the museum of 10,338 shows, you know where it is up
Oh
at...
my God, that much?
Yes, dear.
Oh, geez.
It's up at
That's
Amanda's...
a lot.
It's up at Amanda's fireplace, you know, and they were having...
What is Amanda's fireplace?
Well, they sell fireplaces and stoves,
Oh, okay.
and I've rented the land up there for 9 years. That's where my museum is, with all those...
That's great.
Yeah, with all those videos. And
Uh-huh.
they were having an open house, and they had a lot of food to eat. And,
Wow.
yeah,
That sounds good.
and there were hundreds of people there.
Wow.
And so I did a chat with Glendora up there all the time talking about Buddha.
So are we going to see that on YouTube or not?
Yes, you are. Yep, that one you will see.
Oh, good.
And that's the only one you'll see. You'll never see the DVD diaries that go for 12 hours a day, Lynn.
Well, wait a minute, 12 hours a day?
Yes,
Wow.
I start videotaping, I start the video recording at 6:30 usually, and it goes until 8:30.
Now let me ask you something. Why do you record that much?
Well, I'll tell you. See if you can comprehend what I'm saying. Every moment is such a miracle and such a glory and such a blessing that I hate to lose them. And so I capture them.
That's great.
You think?
That's really great. You know, I used to do that, and probably still do that with like still photography, so I understand.
Wow. Yes, you do. Thank you.
I mean, it's funny because I was just going through my photographs today, separating them when I moved just a couple of years ago. I must have had, God knows, thousands of photographs.
How nice. I hope you preserved them.
Oh, of course, are you kidding? I made copies of some of them are small, some of them are big. You know, I did about 60 photo exhibits in Brooklyn, New York, and so I have some from then, and I have just my personal photographs, and I have the photographs I took when I spent about 7 days in the forest. So I have those separate from, I pretty much, I can't say that I preserved them like a professional photographer preserves them, because I believe in really enjoying my photographs. So, some of them are blurred, some of them are on copy paper, some of them are on photo paper. So I preserve them for the way that I want to enjoy them.
Yeah, what a thrill it must be to go through them.
Mm-hmm, yep. And when you don't see them in such a long time, like, especially since I moved and I passed over boxes, I was like so surprised that I actually kept that many of them. You know, like I know I didn't keep them all, but I was really surprised that I had so many pictures of the forest.
Oh, nice. Very nice. What's in the pictures in the forest? Animals, trees?
Well, all different things. That's the really funny thing is, I have not got one picture of one animal in the forest. The pictures are of trees, of land, of the other women who spent time in the forest. We went to with a group of there was a total group of 11 women who came from all over the United States to go to the forest in North Carolina.
Oh boy. Oh
And
boy.
so, you know, some pictures of when we were hiking up the mountain, and some pictures where I have one picture where, just to show how deep the leaves were at the time that we went, two women were sitting on the ground on the floor, and the leaves covered like up to their shoulder. It was like, that's a lot of leaves.
Yes, it is. Billions and billions.
Mm-hmm. So yes, I totally understand you. I captured as many moments as I could capture.
Yes.
Still photography. That was before I did video.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
So do you watch your videos? Like, do you go back and get to watch them, or are you just preserving them and filing them away?
The latter. The latter.
Oh, okay.
But when I was transferring the 8 millimeters and the VHS and the 3/4 inch into DVD, I did get to see some of them, and they are just as good today as they were the day they were made.
Uh-huh. Yep, that's true.
I meant to say,
That's
you know,
pretty cool.
as meaningful and as
That's
stirring.
pretty cool that you have 10,000 tapes, my goodness.
Well, I have
I can't even imagine what that looks like.
I have 10,000 shows, honey. 10,000 shows.
Wow. That's amazing.
Uh,
Definitely is amazing.
let's
You're
see.
quiet.
Yeah, it's quiet because I was looking around for a different hymn to sing to you. And .com is very playful. She's running around like crazy. I love it.
Uh-huh.
I was looking for a different hymn to sing to you.
So you tape like the whole day until you say 12 hours, huh?
Yep. Isn't that silly? Isn't that silly?
Yeah.
And that.
And so when you're taping it now, though, like when you're doing those 12-hour tapes, what are you putting them on now? Like, what are they taping to?
Well, it's
Just
going on
tape
to. It's going on to an SD card. That's down to 5
Oh, okay.
5 hours, but you can stretch it to 40.
Oh,
However,
wow.
however, it's on the highest quality right now, and it'll give you 5 hours, but it'll give you 40 hours if you.
Now, the SD card that you have, how many gigs is that?
Well, the one that's in there now is only 16, but I do have a 32 gig.
So the one in there now has 16 gigs.
Yes.
That's able to tape 12 hours?
It's able to tape 20 hours. The 32,
20 hours.
yeah, the 32 gig will do 40 hours. Isn't that amazing?
That really is. Wow.
Oh,
And
for
then I found out that my one little camera can actually do that. So I really like that, being able to put it on a
yeah, good.
SD card.
If you ever do buy a camcorder, I have found that the JVC Averio is the best of anyone I've ever had.
Yeah, I have a camcorder. That's what I'm using, the little video recorder. I'm trying to think of which one it is. I think it's a Sony. I'm not sure. I have a JVC, but I've been trying to charge it, and it just doesn't take a charge. So the power comes out for a few minutes, and then all of a sudden the thing just goes off.
Oh.
So that's just sitting, and I figure one day I'll just plug it in and leave it plugged in for a few days and see if that makes a difference.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
I use a Sony right now. That's I call it my little camera, it's a Sony. And the other one, which is supposed to be my main camera, is the Canon.
Yes.
Oh, and you know what? I forgot to tell you, which I just found out recently, a couple of days ago. I just found a way to get the tapes out of my Canon. I'm using this thing called the Sony Recorder. It's called the Sony something recorder. So I I can just plug my camera into the recorder and put a disc in there, and it does it to the disc from my tape.
Whee!
And so I'm thrilled with that because I have a lot of shows on, on the old mini DV tape that I wasn't able to touch.
Whee!
Now I can do that little by little.
Whee! I found you the hymn. I found the hymn. A hymn. I think this is the best one. Now thank we all our God for hearts and minds and voices, who wondrous things have done, in which this world rejoices, who from our mother's arms have led us on the way, with countless gifts of love, and still are ours today.
Wow.
You know
That
who?
reminds me of that tune is just so familiar. It almost sounds like one of the old Catholic school hymns.
I think it is. It was written by Johann Sebastian Bach.
Okay, that's cool.
So that goes back a ways. Yes, there are.
So what I want to know from you is, you gave me directions once, but I didn't write them down, so
Where, how
you
to,
were going so fast. So tell me, you said that I could go up Route 9
are you going by automobile? Are you going to hitchhike?
by automobile, straight by automobile. No, I would hitchhike, no.
You're going by
I
automobile.
like my life.
Okay, sweetie. Staten Island. Get over to Manhattan and take the west side.
The west side. Okay, so I'm going to ask you something before you tell me these directions. Is there any way you could just go straight, like to the Jersey Turnpike or to
Yeah, if you want.
the Verrazano Bridge?
If you wanted to, I think that would be farther. But if you wanted
Is
to,
there any way to
oh,
avoid
good
Manhattan,
heavens, no,
like,
not
go
the not the Verrazano, honey. That's the wrong direction altogether. Get to
That's
Man.
right, 'cause I'm in Staten Island already. I mean, is there any way for me to avoid Manhattan, like to go any direction just to
No.
avoid Manhattan?
Well,
No?
how,
Okay.
all right. Well, how far south do you have to go to get to Jersey?
Oh, I'm not far from Jersey because I can go right on 440 south or north, whichever way. I go on 440 and I'm like practically right in Jersey. I'm about 5 minutes or 10 minutes from Jersey.
Okay, now you've avoided Manhattan. So now you come up to either Garden State or the Jersey Turnpike.
Oh yeah, I can take the Garden State.
Okay, and then
Or I can take the Jersey Turnpike either. Either one, I'll probably take the Garden State.
yeah, then doesn't that take you right into the Bear Mountain Bridge?
I don't know.
Okay, that's what you
so
want.
Which way do you know? You
That-
know it through the Turnpike or what?
No, that's fine. You can do that, and you could cross the Hudson at the Tappan Zee. You know where that is? That's the Garden
You know,
State
years
goes up there.
ago, I know what the Tappan Zee is, yeah. So I have to get to the Tappan Zee, you're saying.
You can get to the Tappan Zee. That's Route 87,
That's Route 87, okay.
and then go down 287 until you come to the Bronx River.
287.
I'm
And
gonna
Am I
re-
going 287, am I going like north or?
You're no 287 is east and west, and then you're going
Oh,
north.
So 287 east
Yep,
or west?
east,
Oh, which is it?
east,
Okay.
west. You don't want to
Okay.
go west.
I have no sense of direction. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the GPS eventually, but I like to get an idea of, like, just so I can avoid Manhattan. So I know I can get to the Tappan Zee and then go 287 east to west.
No, when you come across the Tappan Zee, you'll be right on Route 9.
Right?
Route 9 is the Manhattan-Albany Post Road. That's
okay.
that's the road you want. You're going to turn left, go north.
Uh-huh.
Now, do you like to come up a highway? Route 9 is charming all the way. It goes all along the Hudson. It's beautiful. Do you mind that?
Sure.
Okay, well,
I like that.
I recommend that far over the highway. You're not going to see a thing.
So Route 9. Okay, great.
All right, so you come over the Tappan Zee, which is going east. Now you're going to turn left and go north
Okay.
on Route 9.
Okay. So when I'm on Route 9, then what do I do?
Well, you stay on Route 9 until you come hold it. Remember now, I moved. Hold it just a minute.
What's your cross street?
No,
Do you
wait,
have a cross street,
no,
like,
wait a second. I would have had you come.
Because if I have a cross street and a zip code, I could just put it in the GPS.
Wait a second. I think Kinderhook is north of here. All right, so I would like to have you come up Route 9, and I would like to have you go through Stuyvesant Village, so to speak, where there's a
So
few.
it's called Stuyvesant Village?
It's not really called that, but there are a few houses there.
Okay.
And I would like to have you meet me
Where?
in Stuyvesant Village at the white wooden Catholic church called St. Joseph's.
Stuyvesant Village at the the Catholic Church. So it's just called St. Joseph's Catholic Church?
Yes, it's good big parking lot. It's at a big Route 9 curve, and it's a nice white church, and it's in Stuyvesant Falls.
Okay, so
It'll
it's
say.
St. Joseph's Catholic Church in Stuyvesant. So it's actually.
Well, wait a
Is
second.
it the town of Stuyvesant? It's called the town? Or?
The town of Stuyvesant it is called, but this part of it is called Stuyvesant Falls because we have a beautiful falls here.
Oh, okay.
And then you
Stuyvesant
meet me
Falls.
there. You meet me there, and I'll take you through the cornfield road.
Cornfield Road.
Well, that's what it is. It's all corn.
I love Cornfield Road.
It's all cornfields.
Oh, I love Cornfield
And then
Road.
I'll take
That's
you
like-
to the museum, and that's on the way. And then I'll take you across Route 22. You can just to be safe. The GPS won't know this route. They will not know it. But just to be safe.
I have a pretty good GPS.
No, they won't know the cornfield road.
No.
So just to be safe, you want the junction of Route 22 and 66.
Okay, junction of Route
Yeah,
22
I should.
and Route 66?
Yes, let me revise that. It's County Route 22, Columbia County Route 22, and New York
County Route.
State Route 66.
Columbia County Route 22 and New York State
Route 66.
Route 66.
And you-
Okay.
and
now
you-
that gives me a better idea. And you don't happen to know the zip code of that exact
Yeah,
area,
the
do
zip
you?
code is 12075.
12075. Okay, so I can put that in and see what comes up on that. I think my GPS is pretty accurate usually. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm a specialist in getting lost, so I need a good GPS. You know, it's funny, some of the photographs that I have, I was showing pictures to my son the other day, and I just have to laugh because I have to show him a picture and go like, oh, this is when I was lost in Rhode Island, and this is when I was lost in... and he just look at me like, I just find the greatest things when I get lost.
Well, that's the thing, and that's why I sort of object to the GPS, because people just listen to it, and they never could go back and find it on their own.
Oh, well, see, in my case, I probably couldn't find anything on my own anyway, so
Yeah.
I really need to listen to the GPS. I was a very, very bad traveler before I was able to get a GPS.
Yeah, I'm just the opposite. If I go to a place once, I can always go there again.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. See, with me, I probably have to go to a place, I'm guessing I probably have to go to a place at least 3 times, or maybe sometimes if it's really, really, really far, maybe 4 times before I figure it out myself.
Yeah, Gregory is like that. He has no sense of direction, and he just came from there. He has no sense of direction, and he always asks me, what do I do, right or left?
You know what? I went accidentally once, this is years ago, prior to having a GPS, I was traveling from upstate back to New York here, and I accidentally went into a truck stop at one of the rest stops, and it took me a half an hour to get out of the truck stop. I'm telling you, that's a true story. Like, they couldn't believe I was in the car with my daughter and her friend, and they couldn't believe that. We were laughing. It's like, I know I came in
Well, do you write them down? I always say, out of the parking lot, which way do I turn?
Well, no, well, I didn't even have the good sense to realize that I got lost so easily back then. So now I know, you know.
Yeah.
Now a lot of times what I do if I'm going somewhere where I've never been before, I might put in a GPS before I even start traveling and then write it down from there, or I'll get the directions from MapQuest and then write it down and still use the GPS when I'm in the car.
Your travel time would be approximately 3 hours.
About 3 hours, that's not too bad.
No, it's very good. It's
Not,
beautiful.
not too bad at all.
It's beautiful country all the
Let
way.
me ask you something. What, are you an early bird or a late person?
No, I get up, I get up at dawn, whatever dawn does, and whatever nighttime. I sleep from nightfall to dawn. And so now dawn is about 5:30 now, and nightfall's about 8:30 now.
Okay, cool. Very, very cool. So someday I will definitely let you know, and I'll pop by there and.
By June 1st, I'll be getting up at 4:30 because that's when the longest day of the year is, 4:30 a.m.
Oh, June 1st? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Wow. I just can't imagine you having that many. 10,000, like, that's mind-boggling. It's really.
Well, it's when you consider it was 30 years, 40 years rather. It's 40 years this spring. It's 40 years. So that's not so amazing, is it?
So let me ask you something. Do you have, I saw some very cool pictures of you in one of your videos, I don't know which one it was, where you were doing the kid show and it was that spaceship.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget the name.
Yeah, that was great.
Do you have only videos of that, or do you have still photography of those, or no?
Yeah, which one are you talking about? Is it the one in the 19...
Some kind of a uniform where you go with the kids' space show?
Oh yeah, 1950s, 1960s. Yes, I do have some stills.
Still photography, or?
Yeah, I do. I have some stills of that.
That's cool.
Because we didn't have tape then. We had no
You
tape
didn't
then.
have what?
We did not have videotape then.
Oh.
Videotape,
Oh, okay.
yeah, videotape didn't come in until 1958.
Wow.
Television was 18 years old when videotape came in.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Well, 20, actually 20.
Well, I hope you have a fabulous day for the rest of your day.
Okay.
Planning, but,
The teacher
have a
said,
good day.
the teacher said pi r square, and the little girl says, no, pi r round.
Bye all round. That is cute.
Well, good.
Really, really cute.
I enjoy your telephone calls. Thanks.
Well, I enjoyed calling. Oh, one last thing I need to know. You have your happy book, right?
Yes.
Do you have one copy of it so that you can show it to me when I see you?
Yes. Yes.
That's great, because
I
I'd love
might.
to see that.
I might have one. I could even give you an autograph.
That's cool.
I might.
But I would love to see that original happy book, because I'm like, I love happy stuff, you know.
Oh, it's so happy, and it's.
My grandkids make fun of me all the time because I call them up sometimes just to tell them a joke. And sometimes, you know, the little one is so mature for her age, she just is like, that's not funny.
Oh, that's awful. That's awful. I want her to be happier than that.
Oh, she is happy. She's just such a little grown-up girl.
Yeah. You know, I used to call up Mr. Salzberger, the owner of the New York Times.
Uh-huh.
I got his number somehow or other, and I used to call him up every now and then, and he'd answer the phone, and I never said my name. I just told him a joke, and he would laugh and laugh and laugh. He has the greatest laugh, and so he said, one time I told him a joke, and he says, yeah, he says, I'm going to tell that to my son. And you know who his son is, another Salzberger who owns the New York Times.
Wow.
That's funny, isn't it? Yeah.
That is funny, yeah.
It is funny.
Well,
Yeah.
well, keep smiling and keep telling jokes.
Yeah, well, thank you for such a nice call.
Well, thank you.
All
See you
right.
later. Bye-bye.
You bet. Bye-bye. Well, I think what I was going to tell you is what I told her. Let's go turn off this poor monitor. It's been going since 6:30. I'm sorry, monitor. I'm sorry, recorder. Yeah, I found the hymn I wanted to sing you. Now thank we all our God with hearts and minds and voices, who wondrous things have done, in which this world rejoices, who from our mother's arms have kept us on our way, with countless gifts of love, and still are ours today. And that's tomorrow that I spend with my mother, who's given me countless gifts of love, and my dad. You want to see a picture of them? Okay. They were such good-looking people. They were such a good-looking couple. And they started me on my joke-telling trail, my life of telling jokes. You would think that such good-looking parents would have good-looking children, but they didn't. Lynn was a school teacher and became a farmer's wife and the mother of a redhead and a blonde. And Ralph was not much for schooling, but he started his own business, which was a grocery distribution business called Progressive Foods, and he became on the board of Hannaford's grocery chain up in Maine. This is all up in Maine. And Gordon, who lives now at 88 years old in Gardner, Maine, on the Kennebec River just south of Augusta. 4 years between us all. Alrighty. We had a blissful time. We'll do one more paragraph of Buddha, then we'll say goodbye for a couple of months. I have during this life entered into nirvana. Well, I think we have. Momentarily. And I bet his couldn't have been constant either. But we have had that ebullience. We have had that happiness, haven't we? And the life of Gautama is enlightened. How do we stack up on that? Well, let's work on it harder. Let's keep working on it. What we did this morning, the work that we did this morning, our hearts were with God. As Brother Lawrence said, he felt the presence of God as keenly in the kitchen where he was a scullion. He felt the presence of God as keenly in the kitchen as he did in the sanctuary on his knees or out in nature, as we were today. The life of Gautama is extinguished The self has disappeared. And we got to work on that. The truth has taken up its abode in me, said Gautama. The body is Gautama's. In due time, it will be dissolved. Sure, it will be. But that's not our concern. In this time, it is vibrant. It is useful. It is radiating. It is helping. That dissolution will constitute the final extinction, after which nothing survives. To form another self. Good. One self is enough. And we're making that self work to what? Selfless. We're making that self work to selfless. None can then say that the Blessed One is here or there. It is just as with a flame in a sea of blazing fire. It has been, but it is gone. I really don't care. It's adiaphoros. It's neither good nor bad. It's neither helpful or not helpful. It's adiaphoros. It doesn't make any difference. The only thing that matters is this very moment and spreading as much happiness as you can. The flame has vanished, and one cannot say it is here or it is there. That doesn't do much for me. There's nothing else for us to say. We'll just continue to grow and practice happiness. Onward happiness, going with a joy, with the cross of Jesus going on before. It's the happiness that we have to spread forward into gladness. Forward we shall go. Ho! Onward, Christian people, marching into joy with the cross of Jesus going on before.